Welcome to Earth Mysteries, and particularly our journey today to the South Island of New Zealand, where we drive west out of Christchurch into the hills towards the mountains until we come upon this sacred site called Castle Hill or Kura Tawhiti, sacred not only to New Zealanders but to the world. I have a special affinity with New Zealand. I worked there many years ago as a doctor, and I was in awe of how the nature kingdoms and the people coexisted, the honouring that was placed towards rocks and trees and streams, and to the magic of Mother Nature. I've returned many times on my own, with groups, with my husband, and I want to take you there so you too can experience how alive this place is, how natural it is. So are you ready to journey with me? Let's go. The Wataha people, who were the people there before the Maoris, called this place the birthplace of the gods. I think you can see and feel how alive those formations are. And for me, this is a library of consciousness, a place where all the understanding of our relationship to the cosmos was laid down in these rocks, and that we can visit and not only learn but communicate with our ancestors, communicate with the future, communicate across many levels. And this place was just a small part of an area called the Nest. And as you drive into it, it's like a high desert, and you feel that sense of being contained amongst the hills, amongst the mountains. And the meaning of the word Kura Tawhiti means school distant, which again suggests that this is a library, a place of learning, of wisdom, where we can understand our relationship with the cosmos and how we were created and where we're going. I sense it's not just a place of only experiencing what's being offered to us, but also communicating what's happening to us so that the star people can understand what's happening. And in ancient times, a tahunga, a wise man or woman, would come to this place and separate themselves from the crowd, from the meetings, and go and listen to the tides of life, understanding how different energies will reach this planet at different times, and to be able to read those tides, knowing when to not only plant crops, but when to travel, when to make decisions, when to move, when to stay still. This is a tremendous gift that I think many of us would like to learn. And if these stones are alive, did these stone people choose to stay and share their wisdom? I believe they did. I believed that all life can move, can grow, but that the elementals, and we call those beings who are stone people or plant kingdoms or water kingdoms or fire beings, they all have a choice whether or not to stay in a physical form or to revert back into their light body form. And to me, these specific stone people chose to stay here, hold the wisdom, to meet us, to greet us, to learn from us, but most importantly, to show us who we are, where we've come from, and where we're going. So whenever we come to a sacred land, we need to ask permission to enter that land. Many a time we need to purify ourselves, not just our physical form, but of our mind, emptying our mind of prejudgments, preconditioning, expectations. And that's part of the purification issues that we now need to understand. Sometimes we just enter into these places with the determination to take a selfie or to climb a rock. Here we need to be still, empty, and only when we are empty will we receive the blessing of the guardian to enter this sacred place. And as we climb along the pathways between the rocks, we look down on this area that's known as the chalice. We're going to go further into this later on. But as you see all these rocks there, they're like stone people who are meeting together, or stone people who are choosing to stay there, holding the consciousness of different galaxies, different star systems. Each of them like a book in a library, as I suggest. Somewhere where we can rest against, somewhere we can absorb the knowledge, but also somewhere where we can exchange information. Just for this moment, experience yourself coming to such a meeting. Maybe it's on a solstice, maybe it's on an equinox, and you've come with your tribe or maybe with your family. And we meet and we celebrate ourselves and we eat and we drink and we dance and then we listen. And then we're quiet and we share. And as we come to this area, we may choose to wander around a little bit before we settle into the center, and we see these wonderful limestone formations. I think I'm not the only person that thinks that these look like teeth. In fact, they may be wisdom teeth. Then there are others. Certainly the lower one looks like a whale to me, or a dolphin, this beautiful shape with a mouth and an eye. And then you have other symbols. Yes, they've been created by water on limestone. But as we go around the world, you'll realize that there are many faces in rock. Some of them simply created by the weather, by the rain. But maybe these stone people also take on their own form, and they show the guardians of these places, or the people who have been left behind. Here's some more shapes, some more different types of stone. Pink quartz is very important in certain areas. And here's two others that I rather like. The lower one looks more like an elephant, and the upper one, yes, like a long-skulled ET. Why not? I hope you will be encouraged to look at shapes in trees and shapes in mountains and begin to wonder, is this the elemental, the life being, the nature being that lives within this rock or this tree? And we're looking now up. We've climbed up and we're looking across to the many other limestone formations in this area, in this nest. And in particular, we look towards the summit. We see there are specific stone groups up there. And there is a path that we can take. And in particular, there are two very large stones there that are significant to the Maoris and the Wataha people. One is called Maritini, known as the Trail Creator. It's a female energy, it's the creative energy, the manifestation of heaven on earth, holding the knowledge of what can be created here on earth. That energy is so important to us all. And then we have Rakai Haitu. This is the trail seeker, the masculine energy, the one that takes that knowledge and starts to create trails out into the world. There may be trails on land, trails across water. He was also known as the navigator. And he didn't just set out to travel from one place to another. He knew he was taking consciousness across the planet, through the waters. And these are what we call song lines. These lines that we follow, that when we're following these lines, we're in tune with ourselves, in tune with our soul. Some may call them ley lines, some may call them telluric lines. But the trail seeker created these lines so that we would never forget who we were. And now we're going to return to the chalice, this center point. To me, this has the most powerful energy of all. And I'm amazed how many people I watch just come here to rock climb, or as I say, take a picture. They never go into the center because to them it looks boring. Let's find a way down to the chalice. We have to duck down to go under these arches and squeeze ourselves through narrow passages. But we're so excited to be going in this direction. And here, once again, we duck down as people have done throughout thousands of years before entering this sacred place. What we understand is the ley lines meet here, the water channels meet here, the aquifers. And those who Taoists have shown this as a beautiful multi-petaled flower. So once again, let's stand in the chalice, look around at this meeting of stone people, or imagine yourself coming from far and wide to be in this place, to meet not only other humans, but star beings, elementals, light beings, all coming to share, all coming to communicate. And here I am, in the center, communicating. I was called upon to empty my thoughts, empty my mind, and then to bring energy from above to below and below to above, like a figure of 8. And as I did this, this is what appeared. These amazing cloud formations that I know are spaceship UFOs. Many UFOs will use the energy of a cloud to be able to move between the dimensions, and hence we often see them in these formations. As I stood there, more and more gathered, larger and larger formations, and even this one that has a petal shape to it, as if it was trying to mirror the chalice shape. And then this astounding picture, 3 large UFOs within the clouds. And as I stood there, I watched these form and move away and perhaps go to other places. And I felt blessed that they had come at a time that I and my husband were there. The final spaceship hovered over Maritini before disappearing. And once again, I felt honored. I am grateful that I was in this place at this time. I hope you too will get the chance to visit this place. I hope you too will know what it's like to come to a place that is sacred. And in that, I will leave you with the joy of knowing that such beautiful places are here on the earth now. Until next time, take care.